Hi, I'm Mayor Paul Tenhaken. You know, we have the opportunity to make a vital, long-term investment in our community through the planned Community Bond 2020. This bond will be invested in the new public safety training facility, which will provide a state-of-the-art training environment for the city's public safety teams for decades to come. The city's investment in the public safety training facility has been a discussion for many years, and this project is long overdue. The new training facility is more than just an investment in physical infrastructure. It's also an investment in people. Our frontline safety personnel will be provided with real-life training in this facility, equipping them with the resources and support they need to react with excellence in high-stress crisis events. I can think of no other time when it is more critical for us to make this investment than right now.
Fire Chief Brad Goodroad here, Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. I'm here today to talk about the Community Bond 2020. Kind of want to talk about, first, what is it and why are we doing it? So it's called the Community Bond 2020, and it's really a public safety focused bond. We're looking at a bond for fire and police training center. And the bond will also fund a new Metro 911 dispatch center. The current facilities we have, they've just kind of really reached their end of their useful life. And it's time to invest kind of in this long-term solution to a 911 center and our public safety training center. It's really about a 50-year plus plan for this. It's a decades-long plan, which really makes it appropriate to utilize bond funding for this. When you look at a capital program that lasts for decades, it's very appropriate to use bond funding for that type of thing. Maybe also some benefits, to our organizations and our community. Public safety is a big part of our One Sioux Falls network that has rolled out of the mayor's office, and it's critical for our civic strength of our community. This is a long overdue investment in our training facilities and props for fire and police, and it's also a long overdue project for Metro 911 and their facility. So really the benefits for public safety teams to create these proper, realistic training scenarios, and which creates these real-world scenarios that puts firefighters and police in positions where they learn to make really good decisions under a lot of stress. It's kind of training for that high-risk, low-frequency type events, which ultimately benefits members of our community with well-trained police and firefighters able to make those split-second decisions properly. Sioux Falls Fire Rescue has automatic mutual aid with all the surrounding fire departments that border our city. So in our current facility, we've been training with them on an annual basis. And when we look at this new facility, this will be something that Sioux Falls Police, Sioux Falls Fire will be there, but we view it as a regional training facility. There will be lots of opportunity for outside departments to come in and train and utilize all the benefits that we'll see with that new training center. Our current training center is out at the airport property. We have different agencies that use that. Police use it. We have sheriffs. We have state penitentiary people will come in and use that. So there's a variety of people that come in and use that facility. We've been in that facility since the mid-'70s. So that's a 45-year-old facility. And the training tower we have currently is just not operable. It's just reached the end of its useful life. So that's really the importance of this. You look at the area that we had there. We had a consultant come in and really evaluate the needs of fire and police. And it was just determined at that time that was not the proper location. We need a little more acreage, and there was a lot of access issues with the Air National Guard, Airport Authority, TSA. So really a decision was made through that consultant to find a new location. So that's what we've done here now. We've found a new location, a new piece of property, and now we've gone through our schematic design, through our cost estimates, and we're ready to go ahead and move the bond forward.
Hello, Police Chief Matt Burns. In regards to the Public Safety Training Center, there is a critical need to maintain a high level of law enforcement training for the needs of our department today and our city and citizens tomorrow. The level of training that we will be able to do at the new Public Safety Training Center is well above that which is offered by the facilities and current environment that we have now. It's an incredible opportunity to take these officers to the next level of their training in regards to emergency vehicle operations, firearms training, and the daily acumen that they need to serve the citizens in the best way possible. The facilities offered at the new Public Safety Training Center offer a range of training opportunities, not only for our own department and the fire department, but also local and regional law enforcement agencies, to include Lincoln County, Minnehaha County, Brandon, T, and others. The more we train together and get to know each other's tactics and just fellow law enforcement officers working towards the same goal, improves the public safety for everyone, not only in our city, but our region. In today's recruiting environment, it's very challenging to get the best and most qualified persons in our department serving the citizens and their needs. The availability of the new training center is going to really increase the competitiveness for our department to bring in those recruits to serve for the city of Sioux Falls and give them the best training possible. The facilities planned for the Public Safety Training Center include not only a training building where daily recruit training will be undertaken, but also a series of realistic buildings, a fully functioning firing range, as well as the emergency vehicle operations course. The ability to have all these facilities in one location is an incredible way to serve the citizens and give the recruit officers the most realistic training possible. The buildings out there are truly a dual use. Not only do they serve a function for the fire department training, and that some of them show a realistic burn environment, but also offer a range of scenarios for realistic law enforcement training. Many of the buildings had design elements specifically taken from architectural elements in our own city. So therefore you transform and the DNA of the architectural design of our city right into the training element.
We've been in business for 40 years now, and of course over 40 years our staffing numbers have changed, and today we actually have 53 staff here at Metro Communications. 47 of those are operational staff and then 6 administrative staff. So we want to make sure that we have proper staffing going forward. As the city grows, we need to make sure that we have growth in our staff as well, and it's very critical to have the space to add additional staff. In today's environment, here in the public safety building, we just don't have room to add any more staff. So that's the critical point of where we're at in today's facilities. And we know that this new facility will enhance our operations and give us more space to grow for the next 20, 30, or even 40 years, again, in one facility. Over the years, the technology has changed tremendously in the 911 profession. We have gone from basic 911 to enhanced 911, which means that we're able to use technology to locate people in the time of an emergency. It has evolved into maybe 1 or 2 computers at a workstation today to have 6 or 7 monitors in front of a communications operator. So it's extremely busy and an extreme amount of technology that it takes for us to complete our role. So it's extremely important to make sure that when we have an emergency incident, we can respond to that incident accordingly. For example, last year, September 10th, 2019, we had a situation where up to 3 tornadoes struck the city of Sioux Falls. In that particular incident, we had 20 workstations that we had called in additional help to operate to make sure that we could handle the call load. The initial 13 workstations were overloaded almost immediately, and by having the additional staff, we were able to answer over 600 calls that evening from 11 o'clock at night till 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's what it's about, is just being prepared for those types of events that can literally strike a city on any given day. And here in South Dakota, we have all kinds of weather events, whether that's tornadoes, floods, just extreme severe thunderstorms can cause us to receive additional workloads. So again, we just want to make sure that we're prepared to handle all those, and with a new facility, we know that we'll have enough workstations to accommodate any particular situation that might come up.
Hi, I'm Sean Pritchett, and I'm the Finance Director for the City of Sioux Falls. I am also a resident of Sioux Falls, and as a fellow resident, I expect that many of you will have questions about how we will pay for this bond for the public safety training facility. One of the questions you may ask is, can we afford this, especially in light of some of the economic impacts that we have seen over the last several months? Over the last many years, the City of Sioux Falls has had a strong financial position. And as such, we have been able to adapt to some of the economic changes that we have seen over the last several months. We have been able to adapt, but we also have the opportunity to continue to invest in important projects such as this. Another question you might ask is, how does the city plan to pay for this? The City of Sioux Falls plans to ask the City Council for a bond ordinance in late August. The purpose of this is to assist in borrowing the funds to pay for the public safety training facility. The City of Sioux Falls has had a philosophy of not borrowing funds when it's unnecessary. In fact, we typically use cash to pay for most all of our infrastructure investments, including our investments in streets, as well as our investments in parks. But when we build a new building like this that will last for 50 years, we typically go out and secure a bond for that purpose. Now, the City of Sioux Falls has the ability to bond because we haven't borrowed a lot over time. In fact, compared to many of our peer communities, the City of Sioux Falls has one of the lowest debt per capita compared to those communities. These communities consist of places like Des Moines, Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska, and Fargo, North Dakota. Typically, the City of Sioux Falls has debt levels that are half that of many of its peer communities. Another question you might ask is this the right time for the city to be moving this forward? The public safety training facility has been a topic of discussion and a necessary investment for our community for many years. And now that we have completed the schematic design, we are ready to move it forward. There are two great opportunities for moving this forward now. The first is that we have a very advantageous bidding environment for projects like this. We are able to go out and bid the project at a lower cost to the city than we might have had just a few short months ago. The second opportunity we have is that we are in an environment with historically low interest rates. You may be aware of this if you have purchased a home or refinanced your home in the last several months. And the same holds true for when a city goes out and borrows as well. The City of Sioux Falls has one of the highest credit ratings that is available for a municipality. And with that, we are able to leverage our high credit rating and secure the lowest interest rates available for cities. And by doing so, we are reducing the expense of repaying this bond over the long term. The last question you might ask, and probably the most important, is will this raise my taxes? And the answer to that question is no. It's important to know that property taxes that are paid to the City of Sioux Falls are not used for infrastructure projects. They are used to pay operating expenses. They are used to pay for spraying mosquitoes, filling potholes, or removing snow from the streets. In the City of Sioux Falls, we take the second penny sales tax and we designate it specifically for infrastructure, for paying cash for highway and streets improvements, as well as repaying bonds like the public safety training facility. So we will be utilizing existing revenue that the city has and designating it to support and repay this bond request. It is included in the mayor's proposed 2021 budget, and it is also included in the City of Sioux Falls 5-year capital program.
So where are we at in the process? We've completed a schematic design and cost estimates, and we're currently in the phase of communication with the city council members and our county commission and the public. We're planning for a bond ordinance to come in front of the city council around the middle of August with a second reading the 1st of September. And then from there, we'll look at completing our construction documents so that we can have a bidding process that happens sometime in the first quarter of 2021. That would allow us to do a groundbreaking in spring of 2021 with a completion somewhere around fall of 2022. Probably lastly is looking forward to the collaboration that we'll have between departments. You know, police and fire and the dispatch center all integrate very well, and we do a lot of things together. But this facility will allow us to actually be in the same building, and then I think that just allows us that collaboration, that cooperation, understanding each other's jobs and responsibilities much better.
Now is the time to invest in the future and build the Public Safety Training Center. The opportunity to give our police officers and firefighters and 911 dispatchers a state-of-the-art facility in which not only to serve the citizens, but to train, to work, and to build their skills to serve for their entire career is an opportunity we must take. This Public Safety Training Center is built for the next 40 to 50 years to provide the highest possible level of training to not only officers and firefighters of our own city, but to the officers and deputies serving in the region. It's the right thing to do, and it's the right time to do it.